Hey, everybody, welcome to TYT Sports and Rotowire. Ben Mankiewicz, Chris Liss is the managing editor of Rotowire. Good to see you again. It's been a couple of weeks.
Yeah, and I heard you're on one of those Vikings cruises.
I was not on a Vikings cruise.
Hope you enjoyed yourself.
The anti-Vikings cruise.
Right.
I did. It was a great time on the cruise. How did you do in my absence?
I was doing okay, but I don't think I did very well last week. So let's pull those up because I don't remember who I had. Oh, here we go. Houston was an easy pick. Houston at home, only laying 3 against New Orleans. That was easy.
That was my favorite pick of the week. I made some good money on that game.
Me too. Same thing. It was my best bet. So I won that. That was good. On the negative side, I was wrong about the Giants. I thought they'd show up. It was only the division on the line. Of course, they did not.
Yeah,
Tom Coughlin, most overrated coach of his era.
Instead of betting the Giants, who I came really within a whisper of betting and recommended it to people, I had the under in that game, which was a nice win.
Oh, that's nice for you. Yeah. But it's not cool to tell other people to bet it and then to back out at the last minute.
That's right.
That's what happened to me with the stock market. My brother's friends would recommend stuff, and then they were out, and I was crushed.
Right.
You know, thanks a lot. Okay, so what did I have? So I lost for the Giants. I'm pretty sure I had Pittsburgh there. That was a bad beat. First of all, Tomlin never should kick the field goal, which was crazy, but they covered the spread, and then that Doug Baldwin should have gone down. Game over. I cover. Right. There were some really bad penalty calls. A lot of garbage in there. Roethlisberger got hurt in the game. I stand by that. I
liked all those games. I liked Jacksonville. I didn't bet any of them. But
it was Jacksonville -4, actually, and that was stupid on my part.
I was in Vegas. I had the Steelers and the Steelers-Seahawks over in the second half. Bet I didn't want to make, but you're there and you had to, and they scored like 100 points in the second half.
I hate when those guys they grab you, they put you at gunpoint, and they say you have to bet these games. It happens like all the time, doesn't it? All right. So I was 1-3. So that's don't be intimidated by these picks this week.
All right. Let's continue with you. What do you have this week?
I really like Chicago this week. I feel like the Niners are really good at home. Not really good, but they're like barely adequate at home, put it differently, and just terrible on the road. And Chicago's a legit team. They went into Green Bay and won. That wasn't a fluke. Jay Cutler's having a great year. The defense is not nearly as bad as we thought it would be. I'm laying the wood.
But I think that's too many points. Like I got it, but that's too many.
Yeah. You know, he really did his best. Bart Starr came out, Brett Favre came out, John Fox came out to try to get the Packers a win last week, and they just couldn't get it done.
That's right. Had to be. But by the way, I mean, nobody in their right mind takes Blaine Gabbert and the Niners here.
No, I think this is the time to fade. He's had a nice little run. It's a good story. I'm happy for him. He'll be a backup in the league for a long time now. But it's time to sell. All right, I really like New Orleans. I've been fading Carolina every week. By the way, I faded Carolina a few weeks ago with you. Here's $20.
Let's get a 2-shot for that. Thank you. There we go. It's nice to win.
I pay my debts. I lost fair and square. Would have paid you sooner, but you tried to ditch out of the country thinking you had lost, and then you realize you won. But anyway, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to fade Carolina again. I just think this is the time. They're 11-0. The value can't possibly be with them. The Saints have a very big home-road split. They're at home. They're going to show up for this. And it's going to be a close game. I'm not saying the Saints are going to win. I think they could win, but I definitely like the 7 points.
And by the way, you're getting more than that now. I mean, I think it's.
Is it going up?
I already saw 7.5. And
okay.
Hard to believe that there's a lot of action coming in that's going to take that under 7. So I already saw 7.5. So.
Good. I would love 7.5.
I've had the Saints. I've had the Panthers 3 or 4 straight weeks all successful, but
time to sell.
I'm done.
Time to sell.
I don't know that I'm going the other way, but I'm not on them this week.
And then another game I like Seattle. I think Minnesota's a little bit of a fraud. I thought Green Bay exposed them, and Green Bay has not played well.
Nope.
Yet they beat Minnesota in Minnesota. Last week, beating the Falcons means nothing. The Falcons are a horrible team. They're a doormat. And I think Seattle, they've obviously not the defense they were in the last 2 years, but they're a better team than Minnesota, and they're going to go and they're going to beat them in a game they really need to solidify their standing in the playoffs. So I like Seattle there.
I have a way. I won't be on that game because I have the Vikings season-long bet, where every Viking win is valuable to me and every Seahawk loss is valuable to me. So that game is worth a astronomical amount of money, and it's pick, so it actually is. Everything's correct. So I'll be paying a lot of attention to that game. But I like your reasoning. I would love a win for Minnesota. It's worth a lot to me. But I think the Seahawks are the right way to go.
You think I'm right, but you hope I'm wrong.
That's right.
All right. And then finally, I like Pittsburgh at home. It looks like Ben Roethlisberger, who's one of our contemporary ancestors, has gotten over the concussion very quickly. He did smash his head through a windshield once about 10 years ago. Went to training camp a week later. I wasn't worried about him. He is a very good player when he's healthy. I think Indy with this Matt Hasselbeck thing, just like Blaine Gabbert. It's a great story. 40-year-old Matt Hasselbeck, 4-0 with the Colts. But in Pittsburgh, where they're going to be forced to score a lot of points. I think that he gets exposed. I wouldn't mind using the Pittsburgh defense as a stream in fantasy. I'm laying the 6.5 with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, you've done a very effective job of nearly talking me out of going with Indianapolis.
Oh, you were going to take Indy,
yeah.
huh?
Well, I've marked them. At some point, you throw up your hands and you're like, look, I got it. If this were, these teams have played pretty equally. We see the Steelers and we get my main fantasy team, which has an outside shot at the playoffs, is only one. By the way, I have Bryant and Brown and Williams. I had Bell. Williams has been everything that Bell was, so there's no step down there. How do I not win? How do I not? But Marcus Wheaton, like how does Marcus Wheaton just like a dagger through my heart? Right. Marcus Wheaton all of a sudden. So I ended up pulling it out thanks to Gary Barnidge. But so we're tempted to take the Steelers, and but the fact is the Steelers make some peculiar decisions. They seem to find a way out of some games, and the Colts do the exact opposite, which is find their way in. So it's 6.5. I like the Colts.
Interesting. The thing about Tomlin, too, is he's kind of like Coughlin. They can lead the people, and like Fox. They're all kind of similar.
Right.
But they don't know what the hell they're doing.
They need help. There's no question Mike Tomlin and John Fox should be NFL head coaches. They're the right profession. Right. They just need massive assistance on the things that aren't football.
And the thing about Coughlin and Tomlin particularly, and maybe Fox falls in this category, but I'm not sure, is they're not scared. Tomlin's not punting or kicking the field goal in the wrong time because he's scared of what's going to happen.
That's right. Fox might be
scared. He just doesn't know.
Right.
And Coughlin's the same way. I don't think he's scared. I think he just doesn't know.
Yeah, that's right.
And and obviously you're right. They just need some help. They could be very good.
They could be great. They could be.
They
top
do
tier.
a lot of the right things.
Yeah, that's right. They badly need some help.
But it's like worth 2 wins. It's like how much 2 wins is worth in the NFL? It's worth I would say $50 million or something like that.
Worth an
just pay me $10,000 and I'll get on the phone with you once a week. Jesus.
All right. So
who do you like, Ben?
So I'm going to stay with the Colts. I like the Giants very much for largely the same reason I liked them last week, is that I know it's not a real home game, but they're at home. They don't know it's not a home game. Right. Look, I think they're better. I think their players are better. I think I'm still not totally sold on the Jets. I still have a tough time seeing the Jets beating a good team that's playing well. And the Giants yo-yo it, and now they're 5-6. And I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants won this game 30-13 or led it 30-13. And then you're like, oh, they are the best team in the NFC, so of course they'll win. And then next week they'll blow it again. Yeah. So, but getting to, I definitely like the Giants. I think they're better. And Baltimore getting 4 too. I don't know what Miami has done to earn.
Well, they're not getting 4; they're giving 3 because Matt Schaub's pick 6. You got to factor that, right? So and once you just take out one pick 6,
it's been 2 years. It's been 2 years.
He did it against the.
That's right. You know what? I didn't watch that game.
You didn't watch the game.
All I watched was once Gary Barnidge picked up 6 catches for 60 yards. I was done.
That's let me tell you. Not only did he do a pick 6,
which
is just so crazy,
I forgot,
but he also threw an interception that put the Browns in field goal range. He set up the winning field goal block, actually, but with an interception. That was an
amazing play, but I didn't see any of it live, so it had no resonance with me.
But anyway, I hear you.
So I'm wrong again.
I'm probably on Baltimore. No, I'm probably on Baltimore too.
Yeah, it's too many points, and Miami has no home field advantage.
Right.
And then finally, Thursday night, much better defense, much better quarterback, much better coach.
You're taking the Lions.
I don't care about 3-game winning streak, and I don't care about midseason slumps. I'm taking the Packers, and they'll win that game by double figures.
Man, I don't know. I'm not necessarily saying that's wrong, but Green Bay, it's not like they're going to flip a switch. Like they would have at home against the Bears if they could have.
Yeah.
And Mike McCarthy is truly an abysmal coach. I mean, he's had Rodgers just carrying him, but he and Jim Caldwell were alternating the last time these teams played of trying to give the game away in Green Bay.
That was a great game.
It was no, please here, have it. No, you keep it. It was like two rich people fighting over the check at a restaurant.
Yeah, I still will take Aaron Rodgers in that. The Lions are still the Lions. I don't care about the one over the Cowboys. I think a rare opportunity to get the Packers at 3 against Detroit when it's still much of that Green Bay team.
But you're not getting a discount because if this game were in Green Bay, it would be 9. Right?
That's right.
The Bears, who are basically like the Lions, like just some average team, got 9.
No, you're not getting a discount. I got it. It's just but you are getting a reflection of what the last 3 weeks were, because if the last 3 weeks hadn't happened, then if the game's in Green Bay, because then it'd be 13.
It'd be 13 Green Bay, 7.
Right.
Yeah.
So So I get it. I'm largely ignoring the last 3 weeks, not because I think that they don't matter, but because I don't think they'll matter Thursday.
I just think something's broken in Green Bay.
It might be. It might be. It might be.
But I'm not gonna. This is not one of my.
This
big
will
ones.
be the test. Like if they lose this game or somehow, win it and horribly, it'll be a weird score too, like 16-15.
Right. That's probably about the over.
By the way, I like the under. I like
Yeah.
the under there, and I like the under. And a couple other unders I like. I like the Carolina, New Orleans under. It's big at 49, and I like one other under that I can't find. I like Tampa Bay, Atlanta under 46.
Yeah, that's probably a good one. I'm taking the Chicago Bears as 7-point favorites at home against the Niners. I'm also taking the Saints as 7-point dogs at home against Carolina. I'm taking Seattle Pick'em to beat Minnesota in Minnesota. And finally, I'm laying 6.5 with Pittsburgh at home against the Colts.
All right, that's the one we're going up against each other. I have Indy getting that 6.5. I have the Giants getting 2. I have Baltimore getting 4. And the only favorite is Green Bay Thursday night giving 3. All right, guys, thanks for watching. Back next week.